meet these guys that, they go on these crazy hunts all over the world, and they're especially sheep hunters. Like, you have to spend millions of dollars if you're going to go hunt sheep. Like,
Yeah.
that's
There's like
just
a tag last year at whatchamacallit, a shot at Sheep Show that went for like $500,000 or something like
there was
that.
a deer tag at Western Hunt Expo
Is that what I'm
2
thinking
years
of?
ago that went for $750,000
There you go. Yeah, it's crazy.
for a deer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, and what's going to happen is that, with all the private land that's getting bought up by these major, these big companies and these, billionaires, they're buying up all this private land in prime hunting areas.
Yeah.
And the public lands are just like tightening up more and more, and making it harder to access and all that and all this other stuff. I'm afraid that it's going to become the king's land.
Yeah.
And that, you go to like Telluride area, right?
Yeah.
It's all
the king's land.
Yeah. It's all the king's land, and it's all, movie stars and billionaires that own all this land. Same with Aspen. Those are prime hunting areas that need to be managed.
Yeah.
As well.
And they think they're protecting them by not allowing hunting on them.
It's silly.
That's what I meant when I said projection earlier. It's like, no, you want to kill them more than I do.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowing selective log cuts. You're not allowing management. You're not allowing the most dominant parts of the subspecies to be picked off so that the younger species portions of the species can compete and mate. That happens with giraffes. Like, these bull giraffes will kill other giraffes, and they're like, we can't hunt giraffes. It's like, well, that bull that I just killed 3 bulls last week.
Yeah. Same with elephants.
Yeah, and elephants. And so the hunters, again, as you said, and I don't think it can be said enough, are actually the ones that have the biggest dog in the fight to make sure that these lands are maintained and that populations are healthy and managed well. Because if it's all like, you have to kill a lot of deer to make a soybean burger, and then you're thinking that you're saving deer and cattle, but a lot of the habitat for those animals has to be destroyed and will never come back, and all the chemical that has to be put in the ground to grow those soybeans. So you're projecting to the world that you want to save these animals.
Any of those deer that we, because it's called depredation tags.
Yes, exactly.
In Maryland, when I was in Baltimore, they had these depredation tags.
Yeah.
And you could just kill an unlimited amount of does.
Right.
As long as you had like a soybean field or a cornfield, whatever. All those deer were tested positive for like chemicals and stuff, and you couldn't eat them.
Yeah.
Couldn't even feed them to the homeless.
Nope.
So they're just being killed for no reason.
Yep.
So that a soybean burger, and soy burgers and all this other fake meat bullshit can be made.
Yeah.
It's really silly. Same with like almonds. They take up so much water, nothing else can grow there by those trees. Solar fields, nothing can flourish there. Like, the sunlight doesn't touch the ground, so nothing's going to grow. So, I think it's important what we're doing as hunters to pass it on to the next generation. Because I think that's being lost.
Yeah. Just teach people to look it up.
Yeah.
And think it through.
Just look it up and look at the science and trust the science.
Right.
Because,
yeah.
like you said, use biologists, right?
Yeah.
These people are dedicated to this, and they're dedicated to making sure that these animals are healthy. That's why, like in Colorado, the hunting ban on mountain lions that they're trying to push. They're trying to form it as I killed a giant mountain lion 2 years ago, and
Cover Eastman's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome.
It was just an incredible experience. Like, the whole hunt was awesome. And then the backlash and the misinformation that was out there, people think that these things are endangered.
Right.
And I'm like, that's because they're being lied to.
Yeah.
By the left, is lying to them about this shit and pushing this hard narrative that like we're just out there trying to kill a lion. And it doesn't matter what lion, we're just going to kill a lion so we can take a picture with it. They don't know that you have to process in Colorado, you got to process all that meat for human consumption.
Yep.
And there's a huge law. I mean, the process to like make sure that animal is tagged in and registered and everything. And there's quotas in every unit on how many lions can be taken out. And those quotas still don't get met because not enough people are doing it, because it's hard to do. It's a hard hunt. You need hounds to go out. Like, anybody that says they're good, you should have went out there just with no dogs. Okay, go ahead and try that.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. If I just wanted to go hike in 2 feet of snow at 11,000 feet, you know what I mean? I'll just do that without carrying a bow.
Report back your findings, please.
Yeah. You're not going to see anything.
Right. Exactly.
They're going to hear you long before.
Yeah, exactly.
Hear and smell you long before. So getting them treed so you can identify, is that a male? Is it a female?
Well, something I should be killing.
Yeah. Is it something worth shooting? If not, you pull the dogs and you leave, and that lion's like, okay, see you later.
Moving on.
Like, when I was that lion was just sitting there looking at me like it could care less.
Right.
It wasn't in stress.
No.
It wasn't freaking out. It wasn't like, it was just like, okay, they'll leave soon, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Like they just like, he's like, I'm safe in this tree.
Right.
They'll leave. And if it wasn't a lion worth killing, we would have left.
Right.
We would have just left him and went and found another one, because we're
Yeah.
looking for big mature toms, because those are the ones that actually hurt the lion population.
Yeah.
Because they kill cubs to get the females to go back in the heat.
Back in the heat.
Same with bears. That's why we need a spring bear season in Colorado again, because they're getting out of control. And in the fall, I'm not worried about going to hunt a bear. I'm worried about trying to hunt an elk.
Right.
Like I'm not like, you have to keep those seasons there for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
And there's too many places. Like when we were turkey hunting, I saw so many bears and I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah, just a bunch of bears out in the spring, because they're not being hunted.
Everywhere.
Yeah. They're just all over the place. So
Getting in people's trash.
So it is important. It's really important to manage every, you know, anybody that's lived where whitetail thrive, see what happens when they go unmanaged.
Yeah.
They get, I mean, it's out of control. They're just sick. They're running around mange. They run, you know, all these things happen to them. So if you manage them right, they live a much better life than, you know, they're not, especially with bucks, right? Because you got these competing bucks. They fight and kill each other.
Yeah.
That's what happens. How many pictures have you seen of deer just like drown in a creek because they got locked up? Their horns got locked up.
Right. Fighting
and
to
they're
exhaustion.
fighting to exhaustion, and they're dead now. So
Yeah.
now you have two giants, you know, that are just dead.
Yeah. And then you ask those people, well, what death, if you were that animal, what death would you prefer? Because I've shot many whitetail bucks, and I can show you videos on my phone. One last year, a couple of years ago, where I've shot them and they've continued to graze or eat, not knowing they were shot. I've got a video on my phone of one. If you go to my Instagram, there's maybe 5 or 6 posts down. There's a buck that I killed November of Veterans Day, November like 2020 or something like that. I shot the animal. He finished making his scrape, because I shot him while his head was up at the branches. He finished. This is on public. He finished making the scrape, and I say it's on public. Highly pressured is what I mean.
Yeah.
He finishes making the scrape and walks off and like looking around, and then just falls over. It just like right through
Was
the
that
ticker.
with a bow?
Yeah, with a bow, right through the ticker. No clue what happened.
No clue.
So my question to those people is, now go watch a video of a buck just like that getting chased down to exhaustion by a group of coyotes, and tell me which death you prefer, because it's one or the other. Yeah. None of them die surrounded by their family in a hospital bed.
No, they don't just go to sleep and wait and not wake up.
Right, exactly. It's a horrible death. It's like you said, it's mange, it's disease, it's exhaustion, it's starvation, it's deprivation, freezing to death. Or it's an arrow that went through me that I don't even know what happened. And I'm a mature animal that's living longer. Like a lot of, like that buck you got behind you there, that animal's living longer than 60, 70% of the population already.
Yeah.
So now he's had a long life, many rutting seasons, and it's getting an arrow and it doesn't even know what's going on.
Yep.
And it's dead.
Yep.
It's like as
he had no clue.
Humane as it could be.
That deer had no clue. He just like ran like 15 yards and laid down and died.
Yeah.
It was quick.
Exactly.
You know, and yeah, there are times where animals get wounded and everything.
Yes, for sure.
Still, I'll take
That's
that.
not the goal.
I'll take that over a pack of coyotes
for sure,
chasing me down and eating me asshole first.
Yeah, and yeah, going all the way
she
up.
She hates when I say that, but that's what they do.
Happens.
That's how they do it. Like
if you watch that, what's that YouTube or Instagram channel?
Nature is Metal.
Nature is Metal.
Yeah.
They always start the asshole.